Okay, did you guys see that opening clip with the snow? How are you guys today? So it is Tuesday, February 13th, day before Valentine's Day. I've been making squares. Look at that. Nice little pile of squares. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 squares since Sunday. So a day and a half, 15 squares. That's how the beauty of this. These squares work up so quick and so easy. So it is a snowy day here in Pennsylvania today. We always have at least one last snowstorm in February before we move into spring-like weather. So it's a perfect day to sit on the couch with my hook and just crochet squares all day if I wanted to. Or to pick up a book and read a book. I actually have to. I'm on a reading schedule with the books that are on my shelf. I was supposed to start one every Monday, and I didn't do it yesterday because I was working on squares. So I have to pick up a book today. So the other day when I was sniffling in my video, I told you it was allergies. It's not. It's a cold. Feeling a little under the weather, but I'm fine for the moment. So with these squares, we're going to do something a little different today. I'm going to show you an internet hack on how to soften up some yarn that is a bit scratchy, or even more than a bit scratchy. Because Red Heart Super Saver, while it's always been known as a scratchy yarn from the 70s and the 80s, but sometime, you know, I guess maybe they started listening to people complaining that, hey, your yarn is scratchy and we don't like it anymore. Maybe they started listening and they started softening it up, and maybe the way they process it and manufacture it is a little different. So Red Heart is softer now than it ever was back in the day, because I see people on the internet like, oh, this Red Heart I bought today, it's scratchy, and I'm like, wow, dude, you need to see the stuff from the 70s and the 80s, because that was ridiculous. The Red Heart today is a lot nicer than it was back then. So I've also switched over into making some granny squares. It is 3 rounds, 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th round is a single crochet to finish it off to make the square nice and neat. All right, these only take about 10 minutes to work up. They are maybe just a smidge longer. They're no different than my little half double crochet patchwork squares. They're very easy to make up. So my patchwork squares are roughly 3 inches, 3 1/4 by 3 1/2, right? And this one came out to be just under 4 1/2 inches. I was trying really hard to get it to 4 inches, but this yarn is so unpleasant. It is so rough on the skin, right? So I figured I would take a look. It is called Craft Smart. So where did I buy this from? I bought it because of the color. The color is called Sangria. So with the darker reds, that orangish color in there, and the purple, I bought it because of the color, but it really is so cheaply made. It is very rough texture. It is very scratchy. Did I buy this at Michael's? Does Craft Smart come from Michael's? Maybe. So if you guys can remember, because I don't remember exactly where I got it from. So if you guys recognize this label, can you let me know down in the comments below what store it comes from? Because this stuff is very rough. I would have bought it a good 5 years ago, maybe. So what I would like to do is, I want to get a little bin or a little tub of water, or my biggest plastic bowl in the kitchen, and I want to put warm water in there, but not overly warm water. I don't want the water to be hot, because unfortunately acrylic yarn like this, acrylic is actually a man-made plastic, and how they manufacture it, they can make it soft like yarn, but at its base component, it is plastic, okay? So you really have to watch with the hot water, with washing it, and the hot air when drying it. That's why I always tell everybody cold, 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 or lay it flat to dry. So I am going to put some water in a bowl, or a bin, whatever I've got out in my kitchen. Maybe like a washing bin, you know. And I'm going to make it just lukewarm. Lukewarm, that's the word I'm looking for. And then I'm going to put in some conditioner, you know, shampoo and conditioner for your hair. From what I hear on the internet, when you put some water in and then you put some conditioner in the water and you just let these soak for a couple hours, that they'll soften up. Okay, so I'm going to try that out today, and we're going to see how that goes. So, but I wanted to show you. I made 2 granny squares with this color, sangria, which I know that the camera is washing it out a bit. The lighting is really hard in here today, but it is really pretty. So 1 for my patchwork squares blanket, and I will make more squares out of this skein. Okay, I will. I just actually, I should take this whole skein, take the label off, and put this in the water too, so this can soften up. So when I go to work with it, maybe we'll do that in another video. We'll experiment. All right, so I made these on Sunday because it turns out I love nothing. I love just sitting down and crocheting and making squares. The next color I used was this one from my stash of balled up yarn. Okay, and I made 4 squares out of this. Now I still have so much more of this left over, because here's another little ball of it. I have so much of this left over from another project that I made 2 granny squares out of it. Again, with just 3 rounds of the granny and then 1 round of a single crochet to finish it off nice and neat. This one came out to be 4 inches. This one's closer to 4 inches, so there's 2 of them. And then I did 2 of the half double crochet for my patchwork squares. So this yarn itself is super, super soft, even though it is acrylic, and acrylic that we know is man-made and it's plastic. This stuff is super soft. I love it. This was Loops and Threads, impeccable in the color Holland, and they don't make this anymore, and I'm sorry for that. I keep coming up with all these fantastic colors that the yarn companies have discontinued years ago. So, but this is super soft. I do not need to soak this in water with conditioner in it. And then, so I made those yesterday on Monday. And then the next color I picked out, because I actually jumped from color to color to color, I will make, turns out 4 is about my limit. I'll make 4 squares of one color, and then I move on to the next color. So this one is purples, purple with a blue undertone, and the fuchsia with the lighter shade of pink with that rose pink. Like, wow, this is really pretty. It is Big Twist Value Yarns, and Big Twist is from Joann's, the fabric store. They have their own line of yarn now. My old school phone, so hold on a minute. So of course I just let my answering machine just pick up and answer the phone for me. So I did actually write a little note on here. I did buy this in 2017, and I've been in Joann's recently. I don't think they make this color anymore, but it's called Bumbleberry. So I made some squares out of this. I made, again, 2 granny squares, 3 rounds, with a single crochet to finish it off nice and neat, because it makes joining easier when you do that round of single crochet. It makes it easier when you go to join them together. So there's 2 of the granny square and 2 from my patchwork squares blanket, which I will make more of these just when I'm in the mood to work with this color, since I like to bounce around from color to color. All right, and that was, did I tell you it was yesterday on Monday? All right, what was next? All right, I have this skein of yarn. It's called I Love This Yarn, and it's sold at Hobby Lobby. Now, I do have a Hobby Lobby within 10 minutes of my house. It's across the bridge in New Jersey. I don't go often, and I do love their yarn section, but I don't shop there often because the pricing sometimes is a little too high for me, and yeah, I don't know why I don't go to I don't ever think of going to Hobby Lobby when I'm looking for yarn or craft supplies. But anyway, I actually found this at my local Goodwill for $2.99. So I bought it at Goodwill, even though it's from Hobby Lobby. And the color is called Fruit Punch. And I'm loving this color. It's kind of like denim, and it's kind of like heathered. I love this. And this yarn, Hobby Lobby they make the way they manufacture their yarn, it is nice and soft. I would recommend it. You know, I'm gonna have to go over there someday and do a video about their yarn. Pick up some yarn and do a yarn review. All right, so again, I did 2 granny squares, 3 rounds with a single crochet for that 4th round. See, aren't they pretty? Oh yeah, that's nice. And then I did 2 patchwork squares from my blanket. I was really impressed with this, even though I picked it up at Goodwill, and it was a brand new skein. It hadn't even been used. I'm really liking this yarn. So if y'all got a Hobby Lobby, go over there and see what kind of variegated yarns they have. This is really nice. I like this. So hook size, because everybody's always asking me about hook size in the comments because they didn't watch the previous video. For my patchwork squares, which is a half double crochet, I am using a size F, which is a 3.75 millimeter. So an F, 3.75 millimeter for the patchwork squares. For the granny squares, I am using a G, which here in the US is a 4.25 millimeter. So one hook size up. 4.25 millimeter. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get some water and some conditioner and soak these and see if I can't soften these up a little bit. All right. I will get back to you guys later, and I'm probably, in the meantime, while these are soaking, to soften them up, I'm probably going to grab my hook, grab the next skein of yarn out of my cabinet, and start making some more squares, because today's snowy weather is perfect for that. So I will catch up with you guys in a couple hours. Okay, so you guys ready? I got a little bin. It's got some lukewarm water in there, and it's got shampoo and conditioner in there. It's just your basic Suave, and I went with coconut flavor. And we're going to throw some squares in there, and I'm going to massage them and get some of the shampoo and the conditioner in on them, and hopefully when we come back in a couple hours they'll be nice and soft. There's not a lot of water in here, only about 2 inches maybe, just so they'll just sit in it. Now I gotta tell you, this is my first time actually soaking squares in water. You know, I'm trying to see if the internet is actually telling me the truth, that it'll soften up the fibers. So keep your fingers crossed, hopefully it does. As much as I would love to sit on the couch and crochet all day today, I do have to take one of the kids to work in the snow. So I gotta go clean off my minivan, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Hey guys, so it's roughly 3.5 hours later. I finally took the squares out of the little bin of water, and I rinsed them off in my kitchen sink. It has loosened up the fibers a little bit, but it still does have a bit of a rough texture to it, and it's probably because the yarn was cheaply made, but it is better than it was, but still not as soft as I would like it to be, but that's okay. So they're still wet, so I've just got them sitting here on a couple towels, and I keep my ceiling fan on all day, so it'll help dry them off pretty quick. Then I can get them back into the pile. So let's go pick another color. I'm gonna go over there to my cabinet, go pick another color to work with, and snuggle in the corner of the couch. Alright guys, I have made my next batch of squares. I've got another patchwork square. Well, I've got 2 patchwork squares, and I've got 2 granny squares. Okay. I'm using Red Heart with Love, and its color is Water Lily, I think. Yeah. It's really soft. I like the softness of this, and I really like the color too. I think the squares came out really nice. So it's getting kind of late in the day. I was watching YouTube videos. It's getting kind of late in the day, so let's wrap this video up. Before we go anywhere, let's show you what my last Patchwork Squares blanket looked like, okay? You see some color repeats, like this one and this one were color repeats, right? Let's see, the green and white and the green and white. Now this blanket has 132 squares in it. I have it folded, so you can see that I did a single crochet to stitch all the squares together, and I tried to pick a yarn color that would just disappear into the background. I wanted it as neutral and as bland and as boring as possible, so it would just blend in, and like you wouldn't, not even blend in, just so you wouldn't notice. I wanted it to fade away into the background. This blanket does have a border on it. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10 rounds of the border. Oh, I'm sorry, you were completely out of frame. I started out with a light gray. I went to a medium gray. It's more of a charcoal, and then black. And then this last round is, and they're all half double crochets. And this last round is a single crochet in the back loop of the half double crochet. So it does have a border on it. But this was my original blanket, just so you'll know what we're working towards, and it looks fantastic. I have to lay it out so you guys can see it better. But there's Arlo. Arlo's building up a fan base. He's just watching the little bit of snow that we got out there today. But this is what we're working on that we will put together in November. So keep working on your squares. You guys are awesome. Alright, so I'm going to end this video here. It's about 4:30 and it takes me about an hour to do edits at the computer and another 10 or 15 minutes to do an upload. I am enjoying making squares whenever I sit down on the couch, or I got 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If I've got a full hour, I mean, that's even nice too. I like how simple squares are, whether they are a traditional granny square or any other version of a square. They're not complicated. You don't have to do a lot of counting. You don't have to do a lot of paying attention. You can just sit and do. And after 10 minutes, you've got yourself a square that you can do something with. You can use it as a coaster. Put it underneath of your coffee cup. I don't know about you, but my teacup is always wet on the outside and I'm always spilling the damn thing. Or you can save it, put it in a pile and make a blanket, you know? So I'm happy with the way this work. With these, they are softer than they were, okay? But are they going to be completely soft? Probably not, but it's better than it was. So I'm happy with this. So if I keep using this yarn, I will keep putting it in a bin. It's got a little bit of lukewarm water and some shampoo, some conditioner or something that will help soften it up a little bit. So they're still drying. As the day goes on, I've been feeling worse and worse today. My throat's sore over here. My sinuses are, my face is in so much pain. So I think I made, since Sunday, I've made about 20 squares. Most of them were yesterday. And just 6 of them today, maybe. Once I got done taking the 19-year-old to work, came home and I totally crashed and took a nap. So now it's time to go eat. You need to eat. You got to keep up your strength when you're not feeling well. You have to eat. Even though you don't want to, you have to go eat. You got to take care of yourself. Arlo is walking around behind you guys. He's making his way over here again. So, hello, baby. Come here. Do you want to say hi to everybody? See if we can get Arlo to do a close-up, huh? Come here, Hansel. Here we go. So we adopted Arlo from the SPCA in August of 2020. He was about 1.5 years old. So we've had him 3 years now. And he's a handsome boy. And he knows it. And he is spoiled rotten. Yeah, he's a good cat though. Anything else I wanted to say today? I don't know. I can't think straight. I don't know. I just wanted to let you know I'm working on squares, you know? And I want to try to do videos a little bit more often, kind of like vlogging, maybe. I don't know. I just want to talk to you guys more often. Keep leaving awesome comments down in the comment section below. You guys are so wonderful. Do remember that on my end, I see comments that I do not publish, and I don't ever let you guys see them because I have no tolerance for trolls. I have no tolerance for people who just are passing through and say, well, you did this wrong and you did that wrong. And you're like, oh my goodness, don't you have anything better to do? Why do you have to take your crap and spread it out for everybody else? So, could use a break from all the nasty comments. So if you are somebody who's just passing through, keep right on going. I don't have no tolerance for it. I just delete them so nobody sees them. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. They've been bugging me lately. I will, I'll see you guys hopefully in a couple days. Hopefully I'll be feeling better, and keep being awesome. I love you guys. Bye.